How are you doing? I'm Martin from Gardens for Life. In this video I'm going to show you how to go from a kale cutting to an abundance of kale. So whether you got your kale cuttings in the post or from a friend's garden, you can just simply take them and actually just stick them in the ground. I'll just show you something that's really important about kale cuttings. So obviously the slanted side is always down, that's what we do anyway, and the top is straight, cut off straight. And you'll see the nodes, the leaf bud always comes out of the top of where the old leaf was. So that'll grow a new branch in next year. And I'll show you how easy it is to plant it. So you take your kale cutting and you simply shove it in the ground. And that's it. It couldn't be that simple, says you. Well, actually it is. With kale, it takes quite easily. But if you want to make sure of it, especially this time of year in the winter, you can also plant it into a pot, and I'll show you that now. So to plant your kale cutting into a pot, all we need to do is get some potting compost. We use this stuff here, it's Classman substrate, which is good stuff. And it's actually not that expensive considering all the compost in Aldi and Lidl has gone up in price, and all the garden centres too. So all it is this kind of compost. So it's actually slow release basically. It doesn't really have any fertility, it just holds the moisture. We don't want any fertility because it'll rot the cutting. So that's what we'll do. We'll just fill it up. Trying to use one hand here because I don't want to get the camera dirty. So that's it. We fill that up and we take our cutting, and believe it or not, it's this easy. You just simply make sure you put it the right way around, of course, and you put it in. That's all there is to it, but one more little tip, to make sure you don't push it all the way down to the bottom, because otherwise it won't be able to root into the soil. So push it down 3/4 of the way. Keep it moist, not over watering it. Just, you can put it in the greenhouse if it's still a cold time of year, and that's all there's to it, and it should root in about maybe 6 to 8 weeks. Come here. You want to see the dogs? Come on, come here. How are you? I just cleaned the lens. How are you doing? No. You making your own videos?
Yeah.
So let's say you've already got some kale plants and you want to take a cutting from it. So all you need to do is take a branch here, for example, this one here. We cut it near the bottom. Don't cut all the way down to the main stem because you want to keep 1 or 2 leaf buds here so that they branch out again. So you cut that off and you take your cutting. So that's too long to plant, and it'll also fall over and it won't root properly. So this is too many leaves and it'll make it dry out. So you can just pick them away like that. You can pull them down gently and you leave a fairly clean wound there. You can also just cut the top bit off using a secateurs, and you're trying to keep very clean cuts. If you break it off, it could cause infection. This way it'll actually just heal much easier. So what we'll do now is we'll simply take this cutting and we'll cut it to the right length. So here we must have several cuttings in that, probably 2 anyway. So we'll just take a leaf bud here, we'll go down to here. Let's see here. Here would be a good place, and we cut it off at an angle. So we always cut it off at an angle to make sure that we know which way is down. And if you're ever unsure, you can always check which way the leaf buds are. But sometimes it's kind of hard to see. You can see it kind of here. So just do it from the start. If you plant it upside down, it definitely won't grow. 6 inches or 15 centimeters is probably the ideal length. You could go a little longer, but there's no need. I'd push it into the ground about halfway or into a pot. So that way it's just about ideal, and it'll actually root at each of these leaf nodes as well as at the bottom. So anywhere it's scarred basically. And with the next one, all we need to do here is we'll just cut off the top straight, and again the bottom at an angle. There you go, it's easy as that. So if you have existing kale plants already, you can just make your own cuttings and make more kale plants and give them to your friends. Well, if you're still watching now, thanks for hanging in there. And if you're looking for kale cuttings or bare root plants or tubers, actually perennial vegetables, take a look at our website. I'll put a link below. Thanks a million. See you later. Bye bye. And this is the Daubington kale. And it's just a beautiful kind of, what's that called? Variegated white colour on the sides. It's very ornamental and edible at the same time. I must make a video of the Taunton Dean after dark when I'm doing a bit of midnight gardening. That's the only time of the day that I really have to get some of the extra work done. But it looks really nice when there's all hue on them, especially in the evening time. It's kind of magical.